Thank you for joining us. We cover events here and in Israel, and we also care about promoting cooperation and friendship worldwide. Our special show today, from on location in the Dominican Republic, is with the United States Ambassador Robin Bernstein. She will share her views on the mission of the United States Embassy and the importance of promoting diplomacy and international cooperation following these messages.
Human age reversal. We may be there already. Human studies are now ready to begin to confirm meaningful reversal of pathological aging processes. These clinical trials aim to alter older humans so that they function as much younger individuals. Even modest success will result in a paradigm shift that will impart enormous societal benefits, such as sparing Medicare from insolvency. Life extension is not standing idle while 5,000 Americans die each day from age-related illnesses. Joining us are physician scientists who want to hurry up these technologies to keep people from aging to death. While life extension is pushing these projects forward, we need financial help to ensure these studies are carried through to fruition.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? Is it a cool breeze on a scorching day? Or a cozy corner on a cold night? That every room of the house is as inviting as the next. And the air is fresh and clean for everyone. That humidity is where it belongs. At Carrier, comfort means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable, however you define it.
Find magic again. Sprout by HP. With Intel RealSense technology inside, now you can bend the rules of creativity outside.
This is the first Hanukkah celebration in the residence. We light the second night, the candles of the second night. And we are going to say together the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah!
With us now, our Ambassador Robin Bernstein and her husband Richard. Such a pleasure to be back with you.
Thank you, Richard. It's so nice to see you again.
An honor, really. Sir,
nice to see you.
Pleasure. Well, here we are in the Dominican Republic.
That is true.
And I can't believe it. And it's an incredible honor for me. Thank you so very much.
My pleasure.
I'd like to ask you, what is the role of the United States Embassy here in the Dominican Republic?
The primary goal of the United States Embassy is to protect our embassy family, the safety and security of our embassy family, the 250,000 plus Americans that live here, as well as the 2 million plus Americans that visit here annually. So that is our primary responsibility. Also, we speak for the administration. We advocate the guidance and the directives of the President of the United States and his administration.
fascinating. I had no idea that 250,000 United States citizens actually live here. That's amazing.
Oh yes, the bilateral relationship is very, very strong. Not only do 2 million Americans visit here every year, but we have a diaspora, Dominican diaspora, in the United States of 2 million plus Dominicans as well. So it is a very, very strong bilateral relationship.
Let's go back in history a little and talk
Okay.
about the Avian Conference in 1938. Tell our audience about that.
The Avian Conference in 1938 was very critical to the Jewish-Dominican relationship. In 1938, the Dominican Republic was the only country in the world that was willing to take the Jews and, in fact, authorized the acceptance of up to 100,000 Jewish refugees to come here. Unfortunately, politics being as they were in 1938, only about 700 actually made it to the shores of the Dominican Republic. I understand that about 1,000 visas were eventually issued. What happened to the 300? They may have gone to other countries once they were outside of the Reich and the German Empire remains to be seen, but approximately 700 plus Jews did make it to a little town called Sosúa, which is located on the northern shores of the Dominican Republic.
I would like to visit there one of these days and do a special on that history, and as well as similar situations in other countries like Jews who escaped to China and got sanctuary there, and even Manila of all places. But anyway, back to where we are now,
Yes.
the Dominican Republic. So amazing, this. And tell us a little bit about the steps, the procedure you went through from becoming a philanthropist and being involved in community causes for all of your life, along with Richard. Tell us about the process of becoming an ambassador.
You know, the process is long and complicated. The reason I asked the president to assign me here were manifold. First of all, because we live in Florida, we understand the challenges and opportunities of the Caribbean. We understand, and that fit in perfectly with the administration's goal here. That is, and I call it the side, our side. It's security, safety and security, investment and trade, disaster preparedness and response, and education. So I like to think of that acronym because they all fit in with the 4 pillars of what is important to this administration's goals. Living in Florida, of course, they were also important to Floridians as well. And I felt that my background as a businesswoman, as somebody that was deeply involved in philanthropic activities, paired up nicely with my goals here as an ambassador, and I would be able to utilize my skills and education to help the Dominican people in response to their goodness in accepting the Jews in 1938. Faith and family are very important to us as a family. I'm very honored to have my husband Richard here and one of our 3 daughters, Juju, who has taken a leave of absence to join us. But faith and family really guides us in everything that we do. This is a country that believes deeply in faith. It's primarily Catholic, but again, faith and family do guide their principles, and I felt that I was so well suited to come to this wonderful country.
Absolutely. Mr. Bernstein, I had the honor of interviewing you just about a year ago, and I have to ask you, on camera if you don't mind, what's it like to be married to an esteemed real Mensch ambassador such as your wife?
Very proud of my wife. I was very excited when she got nominated. I was very excited. The process was tough on the family and tough on her, but it was worth it, and I know that she will do a great job. The president knows that she'll do a great job, and she is doing a great job. The people of the Dominican love her very much, and she's doing a great job in all aspects. And for a woman, and for a Jewish woman to be down here is phenomenal. And the church loves her too, because we have a great relationship. We believe in everybody should be for their own religion, and we respect every religion out there. We think it's very, very important to do that.
What are your thoughts on that?
I totally agree. You know, I think that it is, you asked me about the process. It is long, it is grueling, it is frustrating. But, you know, my feeling was through the whole thing, when you have a great family that's supportive, when you have friends, everybody needs a support network. And there were times I just said, I just quit. I'm not doing this. He said, my family, my friends says, no, you're not quitting. There weren't a lot of them, but there were times when I was frustrated, you know, with the process. But, you know, having a good support system is critical. Having a wonderful husband and family to bounce ideas off of, to consult and advise. It's important to have family and friends that you know and trust is important. It has just been, I must say though, it has been a magnificent journey, and I believe that God really did give me the faith, the inner, I really have always believed that if God wanted me to be in the Dominican Republic, then I would be here. So I had a great deal of faith in my family and God and to be here, and I think that's what guides me, and I'm very grateful.
This is all fascinating. I'd like us to continue, but we have to pause for these commercial messages. We'll be right back. We're back with Ambassador Bernstein and Richard Bernstein. The thing I'd like to ask you is, as a Jewish lady who
Yes.
has done so much in the community, what is it like to serve as a female ambassador of the great United States of America here in this country?
It is one of the greatest honors that you could ever have. Number one, I am so honored as a Jewish American to begin with to be appointed to a prestigious position such as this. To be a woman Jewish ambassador, it is 6 times the honor, because the women represent such a small percentage, unfortunately still, of the diplomatic corps. I know we're trying to change that. I know the President and Secretary Pompeo have a commitment to raise the numbers of women in the diplomatic corps, but it is not by any means equal. So when you are a minority of a minority, it is so meaningful to me to represent that small segment of America in such a prestigious country such as the Dominican Republic, who will be holding a seat on the UN Security Council for the first time ever. So the Dominican Republic is a very important country in the Caribbean, a very key area of strategic interest to the United States in the Caribbean. So I am doubly honored to serve as a Jewish woman ambassador.
Richard, what do you think about this concept of a female ambassador from the United States right here?
I think it's great, you know, going back a little ways, when Robin ran the LPJ for President Trump for women, and they were making $250,000, her goal, and I agreed with her, was to get $1 million for the winner, which she eventually got after 5 years. So this next step is as important as the first step that she took many years ago. And to lead this country, the United States of America, with the Dominican Republic, because of the symbiotic relationship that we have with each country, with the ability to do business back and forth, and to have a Jewish woman involved. Everybody in this country loves her for that. And she's able to do certain things that men wouldn't do when it comes to charities, when it comes to women's causes. And she's very good on the women's causes. And for children, if you would see her in some of these places where she went around the country and spent time with the kids, and the kids asked her questions. And instead of stopping, she continued to be there and answer all their questions.
Absolutely. And of course, I understand that your concern is certainly not specifically only directed at the Jewish community or Israel. You care about all of humanity and the environment. You care about the United States, your country, our country. And this is really all quite incredible. I'd like to ask you, if I may, change topics. Would it be appropriate for me to ask you about your thoughts on global security in general and situations occurring in the Middle East?
That's the question.
The Middle East is such a troubled part of the world, ever-changing and incredibly complex year after year, and more threatening, perhaps, to world peace. What are your thoughts with regard to the friendship between the United States of America and the State of Israel as the one democratic entity and loyal ally the United States has in the Middle East?
First of all, I'm thrilled that the President has shown such a strong commitment to the State of Israel and emphasizes our friendship and really enduring support for our sister nation. He moved the embassy to Jerusalem, and even the Dominican Republic has also shown its relationship to Israel.
Please tell us more about the bilateral relationship between the United States and the Dominican Republic.
It is very, very strong. We have a very long relationship, bilateral relationship with the Dominican Republic. Not only is it strong, but it grows stronger every day. We have a very positive balance of trade. In fact, it's over $12 billion worth of trade between the two countries. As I mentioned prior to that, we have a huge diaspora of Dominicans living in the United States. Over 2 million Dominicans live in the United States. So we like to say in the embassy, estamos unidos, we are united. We have a very strong baseball relationship with the United States. In fact, over 11% of the MLB baseball teams come from the Dominican Republic. Dominicans work here, they intermarry, they send their children to school here. Trade and investment grows every day. In fact, we just had our first trade mission from Florida with over 60 companies participating and over $11 million in new sales already committed to take effect. So trade and investment grows every day. It's a very, very strong relationship.
People really don't know, but baseball is huge between the United States and Dominican. Example, the Minnesota Twins just built a new facility for $10 million. Philadelphia built a new facility for $10 million. The Yankees put more money into their facility. And you have a lot of Hall of Famers down here. You know, Big Papi, who's really, Big Papi and Pedro are just wonderful emissaries for both countries.
Madam Ambassador, I'd
Yes.
like to change topics again.
Yes.
And ask you about education, which holds the promise of a better future for all humankind. Tell us about education here.
Unfortunately, the level of education has not mirrored the economic growth of this country. Since the DR-CAFTA was signed in 2007, Dominican prosperity has increased. The GDP has increased at least between 5 and 7% per year since the DR-CAFTA was signed. Unfortunately, the level of education has not mirrored that growth. This is one of the priorities of our administration and of our country strategy in the Dominican Republic. Currently, right now, I would say the average education level is well below 8th grade. Unfortunately, poverty is such that not all kids are required to graduate from high school. This is one of our main priorities, is to see how we can partner with the Dominican Republic, with the community and the Medina administration to help elevate this educational experience. We have organizations such as USAID that contributes millions of dollars every year to help children read and elevate their educational capabilities. One of the things that we do as an administration and as the U.S. State Department is to build capacity. The Medina administration is building schools. We like to help with binational centers so children can learn English, they can improve their Spanish skills. This is the only way out of poverty, is to raise the level of education. This is one of my personal priorities, this is one of the administration's priorities, and this is one of the Medina administration's as well.
Absolutely essential.
Yes, it is.
In the brief amount of time you've been in this beautiful country, you've done so very much already, and you've traveled all over. Tell us about it.
Oh, it's been, I like to call it a magnificent journey. My family and I have had the opportunity to go from Santo Domingo in the south. We've traveled up to Santiago, which is toward the northern end, but it's basically an agricultural area. We visited all the way up on the northern coast. We went to Amber Cove, which has a cruise area. Some of the bigger cruise lines are coming there. Puerto Plata, Cabrera, Cabarete. We went to Fiji Jazz Festival. We visited the Dream Foundation, which is one of the programs that we fund. The Mariposa Foundation for Women and Girls. We've traveled to San Francisco de Macorís, where they have the huge cacao plants, have seen how they produce the amazing chocolate in this area. Then we journeyed all the way to the east. We visited La Romana, Casa de Campo, as far east as Punta Cana, where they have an amazing tourist area. By the way, tourism is so important to this economy. It is a magnificent country. And as I mentioned to you, we have over 2 million American tourists that visit here every year. A critical part of the Dominican economy is tourism. So we were able to visit some of these fabulous beaches and tourist areas. Also, we've had the opportunity to visit 5 out of the 6 local baseball stadiums. And I had the opportunity to throw out the first pitch in 3 of them, and throwing 3 strikes, I might add. So that was an exciting part of our journey as well.
You threw 3 strikes?
Yes, sir, I did. And thank goodness my husband helped me.
We practiced on the sidelines every day so that she could take her feet together, take the left foot forward, and come over with the right hand. And she did great. She threw 3 strikes.
3 strikes. And one of the things that we have decided to do was transform our library into a little baseball museum, highlighting the importance of Dominican baseball and the Dominican-American relationship, and then give it back to the Dominican people when we leave. So people have been donating memorabilia, baseball bats, hats, everything. Baseballs. And we want baseballs, and we want to leave it for the Dominican people when we leave.
I'd like to change topics yet again.
Okay.
And ask you about health.
Yes. Health is critically important to the U.S. mission here. As you may or may not know, AIDS has been a problem here in the country, and our CDC, our Centers for Disease Control, has really focused on this area, trying to prevent the spread of the disease through our mobile units that travel around the country, cataloging where AIDS is prevalent, treating people with mobile units. It has been very, very effective in driving down the incidence of AIDS, and actually should be recognized for the United States commitment to ending and controlling this dreaded disease. We also work on combating Zika, other airborne diseases, and one of the initiatives, as far as women's initiatives, I'm very proud that we will be announcing in the short future is an organization called Vitamin Angels that provides vitamins to pregnant women here so that they get the proper nutrition. Unfortunately, a large amount of women get pregnant before they're 18, and as a result, you have a large amount of femicide and infant deaths or disabilities because they lack proper nutrition. This is something that I'm very committed, and I'm so excited to be working with the Minister of Health here, as well as American companies, to provide vitamins for pregnant women to help drive down the incidence of infant mortality and morbidity.
And speaking of health and prevention and addressing these terrible concerns in humanity, and of course the diseases of aging, our main sponsor, Bill Falloon, founder of the Life Extension Foundation, asked me specifically to give you this book he wrote.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that, and I look forward to reading it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
What I'd like to ask you before we conclude, Richard and Madam Ambassador, give us a final message with regard to how you see the future between the relationship of the United States of America and this great country.
It just depends on education, and Dominican people love America, and America loves the Dominican people.
I think the opportunities are really limitless. The state of the bilateral relationship is very, very strong. They are interested in foreign direct investment, and a safe and secure and economically strong Dominican Republic is just as important to the Dominican people as it is to the United States because of our close proximity to one another.
Richard, I want to thank you and you, Madam Ambassador. This has been most interesting, a great privilege. Thank you so very much.
You're
again.
very welcome, Richard.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I'll be right back.
Human age reversal. We may be there already. Human studies are now ready to begin to confirm meaningful reversal of pathological aging processes. These clinical trials aim to alter older humans so that they function as much younger individuals. Even modest success will result in a paradigm shift that will impart enormous societal benefits, such as sparing Medicare from insolvency. Life extension is not standing idle while 5,000 Americans die each day from age-related illnesses. Joining us are physician scientists who want to hurry up these technologies to keep people from aging to death. While life extension is pushing these projects forward, we need financial help to ensure these studies are carried through to fruition.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? Is it a cool breeze on a scorching day? Or a cozy corner on a cold night? That every room of the house is as inviting as the next. And the air is fresh and clean for everyone. That humidity is where it belongs. At Carrier, comfort means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable, however you define it.
This concludes our special show for today on the Dominican Republic. I'm Paul Peritz. Thank you for being with us.